So in this video, we're going to continue where we left off. You should have three nodes that we've added: the distribute points on face, the instance on points, and the object info. Now we're going to do a little work to organize this and name some things and create some settings that will show up here in the properties panel to make it easier to use this in the future without having to come back and look at all these numbers and strings or the cords connecting them. And when we have a lot of things, it just gets a bit overwhelming. So we want to make this as easy to use as possible. So the first thing we're going to do is select just these three nodes, and we're going to put them into a group. So with them selected, press Control G to create a group. So now you'll see that we have our original three nodes we had selected. You have a group input and a group output. If I switch, hit tab, it will close it. And now you can see I have all my other nodes, and all of this is grouped together in one small little package. So if I select it and hit tab, it will open it and let me look at these settings. So we want to set this up so we have access to anything that we would change often and none of the other stuff. So let's look at the object info, and something that we would probably change often if we were using this in other projects, we would change the thing that is being repeated. So if we look at the group input here on the left, you'll notice that there's an empty little circle here. So if we take this little orangish dot, that's the object that we're using, and we plug that in here, that's going to give us access to, access to this later. Now, if we open the little property shelf by pressing N, we're going to name some things. And as we name them, you can name them what you want, but try to pick something so that in a month you come back to this, you can read it and know what that means. So for example, this is the object. And if I look here on the right, I'm going to make sure I'm in the group tab and I have object. So if I double click on that, I'm going to change the name to pick the object scattered. So that way I'll know that when I click on this, I'm picking the object that's going to be scattered. Next, we need to control the density. Now, we're going to add one more node to this to make it a little more, give you a little more control. So we're going to hit Shift A and search for the math node and set it here to the left. We're going to plug the value into the density, and we're going to change this to multiply. Now change both values to 1. So we're going to take the top value, plug it into the empty circle, take the bottom value and plug it into the next empty circle. And if you see here on the right, we have those two now showing up. So I'm going to name the first one density multiplier. And we can give this a description. And in most cases, you're going to leave this at 1, but there are times that you might want to make it larger or smaller. So I'm just going to put default is 1. So if I look at the density modifier and I hover over that, it's going to show me that the default value is 1 in case I forget or whatever. Now, you can always come back and add more information. That way, when you hover over it, it will give you whatever information you might need to remind yourself. Next, we're going to go to the next value, and this is going to be density amount. And this is going to control the overall density. And let me double check. Those are the only three things that we need to connect. All these other numbers are values that we probably will never change or need to do anything with. So we're going to hit tab and close that. And now we have those three things here easy to get to. Let's go ahead and name this. So we're going to go to node, and we're going to change the label to scatter settings. So this is the settings that control what is scattered, how much the scattering occurs, and so on. We also want to name it here under properties, and I'll explain why in a second. So we can see here on the header, we know what it is, and then this is the name it has in the computer coding for us to find and reuse. Now we're going to do one more thing. We're going to take these three and plug them into the group output for the actual geometry nodes. So we'll plug all three in. And what you'll notice if you come over to the modifier tab, you're going to see your geometry nodes, and all of those things are showing up here. So if you were working with the timeline or you didn't have geometry nodes pulled up, you can come and change those numbers in this area without digging through nodes and looking for them. So this is the benefit of this. Everything that you actually use a lot is listed very neatly and easy to find here in the properties panel. Okay, so let's make sure we've got that named. So that is all for this video. In the next video, we're going to set up another node group that will control the scale, and those values will be connected and listed here on the left.